Hey guys, so today I'm talking about domain driven design, abbreviated as DDD. So, domain driven design is a software development approach that focuses on understanding and modeling the business domain. So, a regular software have layers: the presentation layer, the application layer, the domain layer, and the infrastructure layer. So, I'm going to be diving deep into the domain layer in this video. So what is domain in domain layer? So the domain of the domain layer means the area of knowledge or activity that your software is focused on. And this includes business objects and the core domain business rules. So when you talk of a domain, so if you're building a software, let's say an accounting software, so your domain is the financial system. And the domain can have a lot of subsystems. So like accounting softwares under financial system. So account system can also be called a subdomain. Your banking application is a subdomain of the financial system. So that's really what the concept of domain is all about. So we are going to some terms commonly used in the domain-driven design. Firstly, is equivalence language, and this just refers to any language that has been agreed by both the developer and the domain experts, the business owner, and stakeholders to use for to represent a particular concept. So that's what ubiquitous language is all about. And this language will also be used both in the code, in documentations, and any discussion or and conversation that is going to happen between the development team and the business owners. So another concept is entity, and entities are objects that have a unique identity and can be mapped to the real world. So let's take this example. We have a customer. So that customer has a name, the customer has an address in real life. So that's an entity representing the customer. And this is an ID that the system uses to uniquely identify the customer. So that's just what the concept of entity is all about. Then we have bounded context. So this defines the boundaries within which a particular domain model is valid. So bounded context kind of interact and collaborate to fulfill the needs of a business domain. So it gives a definition to a particular thing or a particular object in the software system that might mean something in one kind of software and mean something else in another software system. So let's look at this example. We have a data class order and the ordering bounded context. And also we have another order in the shipping bounded context. So under shipping, the order ID represents the logistics because represent in shipping company you are looking at tracking the location of your goods. But other a ordering concept, it specifically identify the particular good you are expecting. So that's what bounded context is about. What does a particular name represent in a context? So in one context, we have one meaning, and that context, you have another meaning. So domain design influences how we name our object, classes, function, and variables. So number one thing you must consider when naming in domain-driven design is your naming should align with business terminology. So don't use something different for what the business is using in the day-to-day running of that business. So look at the example. We have a class account. So from the name account, it already informs you that it's a banking system. So you have an account number, you have a balance. And look at the name of the functions. It also represents what is used in the real world where you deposit or you withdraw. So your naming must align with the business terminology. Your naming must be expressive. It must give an expression or a definition to what you want to do. Look at the example. We have a class order service, so representing an order in an e-commerce system. So you can place an order, you can cancel an order. So it's expressive enough for you to know what it represents. Um, Finally, you must avoid technical jargon. So instead of using technical jargon, you must use a domain-specific naming. So we have a class, customer repository. So under the repository, you can find a customer by ID. So it's supposed to have other method like find customer by email, find customer by first name, find customer by last name. So they are very descriptive and they align with the domain that you are using it. On the second example, also I was customer service. So change customer address. We want to change customer email or any of those things, but the names are expressive enough for you to really understand what you're talking about. So if a discussion is going on with the technical people, it's easy to understand. If another developer needs to come take over the project, it's also easy for such a developer to understand. So thank you for watching. Do consider subscribing to this channel.